Hello, Internet. Don't know if anyone's going to show up for this stream or not. I'm just doing it because I like building decks. I figured why not do that on camera. This is basically just going to be a stream where I'm putting decks together, and if people are interested, maybe people will stop by. We have a little chat session. If not, well, I get to put a deck together, and that's always a good time for me. So I've been spending some time compiling a nice fat pile for an Emery Lurker of the Loch cEDH deck. Now I'm using cEDH deck kind of loosely here. I'm not looking to be like super over the top competitive, but it's a deck that I want to do well with, if that makes sense. I know somewhere in here I have the copies of actual Emery. There she is. Excuse me. And forgive me, I just ate dinner, so I might clear my throat a couple times while I'm working through this. Alright, so I'm going to be working on putting together an Emery EDH deck. So I've got a ton of artifact support laid out. Anytime I build new EDH decks, I usually just kind of pick up little pieces here and there that are specific to the commander I'm building, and then just kind of mix in things that I already had. So I have a general idea of what I want to do with this deck, but we're going to figure out the specifics on stream here. Start organizing things here. So we've got special lands, we've got tutoring, generic artifact support, board presence. The stack is well above 100 cards, so we're definitely going to be whittling things down here. And we'll see. We'll see how things go. Got quite a few cards to get through. Essential utility. We'll have something for stacks pieces. Draw power. Altars. Got a lot of sack outlets. Draw power. There are going to be 2 fake cards. Just be aware. I know that these are fake. I've written on them plainly that these are fake. I don't honestly remember how these got into my collection, but they are not real. I own a full play set plus a Judge promo Force of Will. I own 2 different mana drains, so I own these cards. My local shops that I tend to play at are okay with some proxies, so I wrote fake just so people know those are in fact fake cards, but we'll be using some of those potentially. See, we got some mana rocks. Got some draw power, removal. Definitely need a spot for removal. These are going to be counter magic, board presence, more draw power, tutoring, draw power. It's going to be for ramp, tutoring, ramp, interaction. Ramp. We've got clone. We'll leave that over here for now. Interaction. Tech pieces we'll put there. Don't necessarily need those. Interaction. Interaction. Pretty sure I'm cutting that, but we'll just have it out there for now. Forge. We'll count that as draw power. Interaction. Copy that. I need 2 of those. Already have another copy of this in the, yep, already got a negate. Take that out. So basically right off the bat, I'm just kind of trying to sort out the general roles that things are going to be playing. Got some stacks pieces. I'll just leave them over here for now. 1 mana ramp, utility lands, effects, direction, succulets, counter magic, ramp, spot removal, more tutoring, more interaction. Mox Diamond. In case you're curious, yes, that is a real Mox Diamond. It's just in an altar sleeve. If you've never heard of altar sleeves before, I highly recommend looking them up. They are super cool. So in case it wasn't clear, not all of this is going to see use. I'm just kind of trying to organize for the time being. I guess I can get that. Alright, counter magic. Counter magic, counter magic, tutoring, spot removal. It's kind of neat. And put that there. Some stacks pieces. Expedition map. Joker. Probably won't use that, but we'll still have it here just in case. Okay. Alright. So I already know the general idea of how I want to win with this deck. There's a couple of different routes I can go. I've already seen quite a few of them here. Alright. So the general premise of Emery, she is a graveyard-based artifact deck. She is 2 and a blue, but she costs 1 less for every artifact. So you're going to be playing her for 1. Even with her commander tax taken into account, you're probably playing her for 1 the whole game, which is super cool. When she enters, you mill 4 cards. And each turn, you can tap her to target something in your graveyard, an artifact, and you may cast, I believe... Yes, you may cast that card this turn. So you can't, for instance, get back Darksteel Citadel. You have to be able to cast the card in order for it to come back. Important to keep in mind here. So the primary... Well, I don't want to say primary. There's a couple of win conditions I have in mind. Let me look through here. Where are the cards? Okay. Out. All right. So, as far as win conditions go, there's a bit of a self-indulgent win condition. I am playing a 4 Horseman package. For those of you who are unfamiliar, a 4 Horseman package is basically a very slow, kind of drawn-out way of winning the game. Basically, the general premise of the package is getting these 2 cards in play, Basalt Monolith and Mesmeric Orb. Now, Mesmeric Orb, every time any permanent becomes unsuspended, it's untapped. I've been playing Digimon too long. Whenever it comes untapped, the controller of that permanent then mills a card. Basalt Monolith is a 3-drop artifact that taps for 3 mana and can pay 3 mana to untap itself. So basically, it's an infinite tap and untap outlet. So the idea is that this gives you a free way of milling your deck infinitely, right? The problem is you have to win off of it. Ideally, we want to be able to do this while we have Blasting Station in play. And yes, this is already becoming a bit critical massy, but we do get through our deck pretty quickly thanks to Emery's. Connection successful. It seems like I'm online. It still seems to be recording. looks like I might be back online. Alright, well, now all the people not watching me will be able to continue not watching me. Fantastic. Yeah, I hear you in the other room. Yeah. Alright. So, before my power got momentarily knocked out, I was explaining a little bit about the 4 Horsemen package here. Sorry about that for people watching this in post. So, ideally we want to get all 3 of these artifacts in play. These 2 let us mill our deck infinitely. Blasting Station is how we win. So basically we're going to mill our deck infinitely with our single copy of Narcomoeba hiding in the deck. Or in our graveyard. If it's in our graveyard, that's fine, because I'll show you exactly how that works. But basically, every time Narcomoeba gets milled from the deck, it puts itself into play. When it puts itself into play, we can sack it with our Blasting Station here to deal 1 damage to anybody. Well, this is ultimately going to create an infinite loop. As we continue to mill our deck, eventually we want to hit Ulamog, the Infinite Gyre. So every time Ulamog hits the graveyard, it shovels everything back in, which basically just means we can't deck out. So ultimately what's going to happen is we will mill our deck infinitely. Narcomoeba will enter, sack it for 1 damage with our Blasting Station, continue milling until we hit Ulamog, shuffle everything back, and continue the process. Blasting Station also has an effect where every time a creature enters, it untaps itself. So basically every time we go through, our Narcomoeba comes back into play, Blasting Station then untaps, we sack Narcomoeba again, dealing 1 damage, and we're going to repeat this loop infinitely. It's called 4 Horsemen. I don't remember the exact reasoning behind it, but basically the combo takes so long to play out that I believe it was unofficially banned from certain events because it was causing slow play. Because the combo, technically speaking, could go infinite number of times and never actually happen, just because you can keep milling Ulamog before you hit Narcomoeba. It's weird. The rulings are kind of funky, but that is the general premise. Is you basically infinitely mill your deck and deal infinite damage thanks to Blasting Station every time Narcomoeba gets milled. So that is my primary win condition. I shouldn't even say that. I don't even necessarily think there's a primary win con. It's just I have a bunch of pieces that work well together. If I hit them, I hit them. This is a very simple 2-card combo the deck is able to do. Mirror and Spy and Lotus Petal. Mirror and Spy is 2 and a blue, has flying, 1/3. None of that matters. Whenever I cast an artifact, I may tap or untap target creature. So basically, whenever I tap Emery, I can play something from my graveyard. Then I can play Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal enters. Because I cast it, Mirror and Spy untaps Emery. Sack Lotus Petal for a mana. Tap it again, replay the Lotus Petal, and again, repeat this infinitely, which generates infinite mana. Then we actually need something to do with the mana, and I'm kind of working on what to do there. There are plenty of draw outlets I can use for the deck, things like Commander Sphere and Mind Stone. I have infinite removal through cards like Aether Spellbomb, and infinite damage through Walking Ballista, which is a very well-known combo piece. So Walking Ballista out of infinite mana is, of course, going to be another win condition. Another method of infinite mana is going to be my Isochron Scepter Dramatic Reversal combo, which is, again, tried and true. I'm sure most people know what those 2 cards do. We will be including that in this pile as well. Equally better, since the untapping effect from Dramatic Reversal also lets us untap Emery. Wait a moment, let me grab some water. Alright, so there are certain cards that I know I'm going to be including in the deck, so we're going to start sleeving up here. Alright, so I know I'm going to be playing my win condition packages, so we're going to go ahead and include those. Go ahead and sleeve those up. You'll have to forgive me, by the way. If anyone does happen to stop in while I'm live, I am not 100% sure how all this works. I'm still kind of figuring stuff out. But if you're around, you're interested in chatting, by all means, leave comments in chat. I will be responding to them as I get them. So more than happy to interact with you guys if you decide to stop in. But much like with my other videos, I really don't hold any expectations. I will let you guys know that I have some really cool plans for other live streams coming up. I'm going to be trying to get together a weekly Digimon gameplay live stream. holding back on some of the details on that, but I think you guys are going to be really interested. Should be a little bit different than what I think a lot of other Digimon streamers are doing, but we'll see. I got to kind of get a local group who is interested in committing to that before I can really tip my hand, if you will, about how that's going to end up working. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 30 lands, specifically 30 islands. Do you want space for at least the Saga and the Inventor's Fair? I'm picky about my land arts, so just give me a moment to weave through and pick out the ones I'm okay giving up. Might seem goofy, but one of the primary reasons I love this game is all of the incredible artwork. So I'm very picky about the lands that I run. I drive some people nuts. They don't like that my lands don't match, but I don't care. It's my deck. I'll play what I want. Alright, we're going to do that. We're going to stick to 32 lands. This deck is running a lot of mana rocks, so we're just going to stick to 32 lands, because we really don't need them. We have plenty of other ways to get colored sources. As long as we're making a couple of land drops, we should be fine, just because Emery is so cheap to play. Alright, so this is going to be our definitely not using pile. We have lands, which we're kind of done with, so we'll put those there. And we have currently just our win conditions. We'll go ahead and go through ramp, because ramp is going to be pretty straightforward. Alright, Patriarch Seal. Definitely want that. Has it's a 3-drop, makes a mana of any color, and can pay 1 and tap to untap a legendary creature. So it lets us play more out of our graveyard each turn, which basically might as well just be a draw 1, which is really cool. Definitely want that. Ethereum Sculptor, 1 of the blue. Artifacts cost less mana. We want that. Foundry Inspector, 3, also makes artifacts cost less. I think we're actually going to skip out on Sapphire Medallion. Medallion is good, but I think we're playing a lot of just colorless cards. I don't necessarily think that's going to have a whole lot of value, but we're going to keep this on the maybe pile. We'll see what everything else looks like once we get there. Coalition Relic is also going to be on the maybe pile. Definitely want Mana Crypt, no question. Mox Diamond is fast mana, but I'm only running 32 lands. Maybe not Mox Diamond. Maybe we leave that one out. Mana Vault's a yes. Commander Sphere's a yes. Mox Amber. Chrome Mox. Arcane Signet. Prismatic Land is a maybe. Gilded Lotus is a strong maybe. I think Sky Diamond's a definite no. I don't think we need Sky Diamond. Mind Stone's a yes. Of course we're playing Soul Ring. Mox Opal is, of course, a definite. Liquid Metal Torque. I think this card is really neat. And on the surface, it's basically just a 2-mana mana rock that produces a generic, but it has a tap effect that makes a non-land permanent an artifact, which has a small synergy where I have Clock of Omens in here that can tap 2 artifacts to untap an artifact. So in theory, I could make Emery into an artifact and then untap her, and I don't actually lose a whole lot just because it's still artifact ramp. Wayfarer's Bobble's probably a bit too slow. Thran Dynamo and Solemn. This is where it starts to get a little more challenging. We play a lot of ramp. I think Thran Dynamo is probably a good go card. 4 mana for producing 3 is a good rate. Gilded Lotus. Is it worth the extra mana? You know what? I think we're going to keep these all in the maybe pile and come back to them. I want to see what other cards we have first, because we're going to start running low on spaces at some point. So we're going to go ahead and start sleeving up the ramp that we know we want, and we'll come back to the more questionable ones. In case it bothers anyone, yes, there are a few cards in here that are in perfect fits. Those are generally the more expensive ones. I don't necessarily like having only some cards in perfect fits, but I also don't want all of them in perfect fits, and I don't want my more expensive cards to get damaged, which is why I tend to do that. I don't do it with all my decks. I do my committed cEDH deck is actually a Tatyava control / combo deck, and I do have that fully double sleeved. But for this one, this is mostly just going to be for like casual. When I say this is cEDH, I'm not going to events with this. This is basically just for me to take to locals. They have competitive EDH on Friday nights. It's very, well, it's competitive, but it's very casual. Everyone's just there to kind of have fun and hang out. I'm not cheating with this. If I cared enough to cheat, I mean, I wouldn't be doing it in cEDH. I'd be doing it in something that mattered. Just so we're clear, I don't cheat. I play my hobbies for the fun of it. I don't care enough to cheat in any of them. All right. Making artifacts cost less is a definite benefit for this deck, since it will be mostly artifacts. Alright, so we have our ramp. At least the beginning of our ramp. Let's go ahead and sleeve these two up. These two have very similar roles to play. Both of these basically have effects where if I cast artifacts, I make creature tokens that are also artifacts. So these guys are both sources of board presence, as well as just generic artifact bodies. There are things I can do with extra artifact bodies, so we'll go ahead and include those. And removal. Blue is a little short on removal, so I'm probably just going to end up playing all of this, honestly. Maybe not Ratchet Bomb. I don't know. This is equal to the number of charge counters. Maybe we do play Ratchet Bomb, because we need ways to deal with our graveyard hate, specifically like Rest in Peace and cards like that. And again, blue is a little short on ways to do that, so I think Ratchet Bomb might just be needed as like one of those just-in-case kind of cards. We'll go ahead and sleeve it up for now. We'll see how we do on space. We have lots of creature removal. We are playing Chain of Vapor because, again, we do need to have answers to specific hate cards. If a Rest in Peace is in play, we are very limited on what we are able to do, so we need to make sure we have ways to get rid of that. Got lots of creature removal. Maybe too much creature removal. I don't know. We'll see. That's, again, something that we can kind of figure out once we get towards the end. Tutoring. Let's go ahead and talk tutors. Fabricate feels like an absolute must include. Solve the equation, maybe. Instant sorcery tutoring. Another instant sorcery tutor. Specific artifact CMC tutoring. That's CMC of 2. This is CMC of 3. This is CMC of 1. I'm going to have to look through my list here and figure out which of those are needed and which ones aren't. Those are a little more kind of pigeonholed, which does kind of stink. Trinket Mage, I think, is a definite, though, just because we have quite a few combo pieces at 1 and below. So I think we'll hold on to Trinket Mage for sure, Ski. Spellseeker is also a pretty sure yes that we're going to play it. War of Invention and Fabricate are generic artifact tutors. We're absolutely playing those. Reshape, definitely playing that. Artificer's Intuition. Didn't even know this card existed until I started getting cards for this deck. So, you know, pretty neat. It's basically a survival of the fittest, but it discards artifacts to get artifacts from your deck that cost 1 or less. So, super, super neat. Like I said, didn't even know that card existed until recently. So, and then Kuldotha the Forge Master. I think that's going to have to be a yes. I mean, it's an art tutor for any artifact. So, we're going to be churning artifacts out pretty fast, and we can replay them from the graveyard. I think Forge Master is going to have to be a definite yes. As mentioned, we'll have to play the Trinket Mage. That's definitely a yes. We've got some other generic tutors that are letting you get any artifacts, which, of course, we do want. So we're going to go ahead and include those. pretty much all of our win conditions are at least in some way artifact related, so we're definitely going to want the generic tutors. We'll be able to still see them off of different things like draw power, and like I said, Emery will help us mill cards, but on top of that, we're going to want ways to find our specific cards in a timely manner. Oh, looks like I might have a single person in the chat. Hello, good evening. You are my first viewer. I'm just here having fun building decks. Feel free to stay a while, kick your feet up, ask questions if you got them. I will happily engage with chat if you have anything you want to chat about. Otherwise, I'm basically just going to be narrating what I'm doing as I do it. I think. Mystical Tutor, solve the equation. Mystical Tutor is probably a good enough card. We're probably going to want that, because we are going to need very specific types of removal. Even if it's just tutoring out Chain of Vapor to get rid of something like a Rest in Peace, I'm definitely going to want that, so we're going to keep that where it is. Let me think here. So tutoring we currently have Forge Master, Orb of Invention, Reshape, and Fabricate for specific artifacts. Intuition is recurring removal that lets us play the things we're discarding because we're playing Emery, which is really nice. I think these are going to be on the maybe pile for now. Yeah, we're going to have to look at the other things. I think Spellseeker is probably going to make the final cut, but we're going to leave them in the maybe pile for now. Alright, so it's going to be it for our tutors. Next, we're going to look at Draw Power, Thoughtcast, Thought Monitor. Could not possibly be a faster include. This card is absolutely cracked. Scroll Rack seems like a pretty certain card. Mystic Forge, very certain. Shimmer Dragon. Shimmer Dragon and Secrets of the Dead. I definitely like both of these cards. I think I'm going to run both of them. I think they're just super good as recurring removal, or not removal, recurring draw power. I think we might have to go ahead and use both of those. Well, we're definitely going to use these. We want the baubles for draw power that we can keep bringing back with Emery. Same with Thought Monitor, Scroll Rack, Mystic Forge. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and sleeve these. I think we'll go ahead and just sleeve up the Secrets of the Dead and the Shimmer Dragon too. I think those cards are definitely good enough. The 6 play on the Shimmer Dragon is a little concerning. Whoop, perfect sleeve. But I think we play enough ramp that we'll definitely get there pretty early. And since it has an effect that also gives it hexproof, it's pretty sticky and hard to remove. So it's draw power that comes down quickly. You can't really spot remove it. You kind of need to find a way around its hexproof. And hey, it's a big chunky body. Decks that are low on creatures can always use a big chunky body to help defend, right? I'm honestly really excited to try this deck. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've built like sort of artifact decks before, but nothing quite like this. Definitely not strictly artifact centric like this deck is going to wind up being. Alright, so we're going to try those out. Alright, what do we have left? We have sack outlets. Definitely want Altar of Dementia. Sack a creature and mill. Milling is basically drawing cards in this deck. Alright, Arcbound Ravager and the 2 altars. I don't actually know which one of these I want. Phyrexian Altar probably makes slightly more sense, but Ashnod's Altar is better for like generic mana creation. Helps me ramp a little harder. Arcbound Ravager is a sack outlet for any artifact, which is cool, I guess. Once again, I'm kind of back at, I'm not sure here. These might have to go also into our maybe pile for now. We'll come back to them. I'm not saying no, but we're gonna have to come back, and I'm gonna need to kind of lay out and see what I've already got set up and figure out what else I want. All right. As far as general interaction, counter magic goes, counter an artifact or an enchantment. A null is a little situational. Not terrible, though. Mana leak is okay. Definitely want to play the spell. Keep safe is probably a no. Offer you can't refuse. I think we'll it seems like an almost definite. Like, that card's really good. Fierce Guardianship, Misdirection, Pact of Negation, Flusterstorm, Cooler Artwork Dispel. Had that in here twice. We'll use that. Arcane Denial, Negate, Delay, Swan Song, Counterspell, Mana Drain, Force of Will. This is a lot of interaction. There's a lot of counter magic, but I think it's good counter magic though. I do think this is probably in the realm of where I want to be. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Because I don't have a lot of artifact enchantment removal, I'm kind of relying on having these already in hand. So I probably want to make sure I have a decent number of counter spells. So why don't we go ahead and sleeve all these. Starting to run a little low on space, so I may end up going in and cutting some of these. We'll see. Force of Will might end up being ironically bad, just because I don't know how many other blue cards I'm going to be running. Counterspell. Counterspell might also be kind of questionable. I'm going to be running Mana Drain. Like, that's pretty much a guarantee. I don't know, though. I don't know. Negate is for sure. Flusterstorm. Yes, we'll want to make sure we have good answers if we try to combo. Pact of Negation, same deal. We're a combo deck. We're going to want that. Offer you can't refuse. I'm a little questionable on Offer you can't refuse, but I mean, it's 1 mana for a negate. You give away 2 treasures, but I don't know. I don't know if anyone's ever played Offer You Can't Refuse in cEDH. Let me know what you think about it. I'm not sure how relevant those 2 tokens are. Because on one hand, it's what can they do in 1 turn? Because they're only going to have that mana for 1 turn, but also is that 1 turn going to be the last turn, you know? So that'll do it for counter magic for now. Go ahead and move these away. I think it's safe to call these all definite no's. Podcast is going to be on the maybe pile for now. We may come back to that. That actually doesn't leave too many spots. That's only, oh goodness, that's only 5 spaces left. All right, I definitely want room for more than 5 cards in here, so we're definitely going to have to start thinning things out. Knowing how low that is, though, that kind of does help me start to whittle things down. Sculpt. So these are like, knowing how low or on space I am, these are definite no's, good maybes, and almost definitely yeses. Back to basics for sure. Riddlesmith is really good. Crystal Shard. Welding Jar is going to go up here. I don't really care about Springleaf Drum. Not a big fan of Revoker. Felony Expedition Map. Winter Orb. Playing a lot of artifacts, so we're going to play Winter Orb. Junk Diver, I think we'll put up here for now. I don't think we necessarily need the Junk Diver, just because we are playing a lot. I mean, we're playing Emery, so we can get artifacts back from our graveyard anyways. So we're going to go ahead and skip on the Junk Diver. Mycosynth Wellspring. We're going to go ahead and scoot that on up here to the no pile. Tempted by Auric, no. Opt, no. Thoughtscour, no. Altar of the Brood. Well, on one hand, it's a win condition if I can get an infinite Emery loop going. It does let me mill everybody out. I'll put this in the maybe for now. Same with Snapcaster Mage. Definitely want Sensei's Divining Top. Retriever, same deal as Junk Diver. Lodestone Golem. Oh, goodness. Put him in the maybes. Spellskite, I think, is really important to have. Protect from targeted removal. Confounding Conundrum. Very, very between these 2 piles for that one. I think it's definitely worth running. Narset, we're going to definitely want to run Narset. Trading Post. Discard a card, get a life. Make a creature, sack a creature, return target artifact from graveyard to hand. Sack an artifact, draw a card. That's a maybe for now. Tormod's Crypt, I feel like we should probably be using. For other graveyard decks, Clock of Omens, definitely want to be running that. Manifold Key. There's probably enough reasons to use Manifold Key. We'll keep that down here. Lightning Greaves. Free from the Real and Pemin's Aura. I don't think we're going to want those after all. I was thinking we might, but maybe not. Metamorph is going to have to go here. I've got Sculpting Steel in that pile. Propaganda. Perpetual Timepiece. Prophetic Prism I don't think does enough. Shimmermer. We'll put Shimmermer here. Dozen Year Elixir. More cloning effects. Wandering Archaic. Underworld Cookbook I think is cute, but probably just cute. I don't think it's actually good. And then we've got Codex Shredder, which is kind of standard for Emery decks. It lets us get other cards we need back from our graveyard. And it's recyclable. Alright, so where do we start making cuts? Let me think. I think we might cut Force of Will first, actually. As weird as that is. I don't know that we're going to have enough blue cards that we're going to want to pitch the ones that we do have. Mana Drain can stay. Might get rid of Counterspell. I don't know. Maybe Negate's the better the better thing to get rid of. Arcane Denial, Dispel. Maybe Dispel. Dispel's a little more generic, or a little more specific, I should say. Fierce Guardianship is definitely a keep. Misdirection. We'll get rid of Misdirection for the same reason we're getting rid of Force of Will. I don't necessarily know that we're going to have blue cards to pitch to that consistently. Currently just have the one altar. We're probably going to stay there. Where's this Baubles? The Baubles will keep. Seekers of the Dead. Shimmer Dragon going to keep our... We want to keep our draw power. We're going to hold on to that. Scroll Rack. Is this a deck that wants Scroll Rack? I'm actually kind of questionable on that. Like, Scroll Rack's a great card, but it's not card advantage, and it's not guaranteeing we see cards that are, you know, specific cards. So maybe we do just let the Scroll Rack ride and go with something else. Artifacer's Intuition. Trinket Mage. I think there's enough card targets for Trinket Mage at this point. There's quite a few different things we can grab with that. At the very least, we can grab certain combo pieces like Lotus Petal. So I think we'll hold on to Trinket Mage. Fabricate, Reshape, War of Invention, Mystical Tutor, Forge Master. I think these cards are all fine. Removal. Do we need all of this removal? Probably. Let's be honest. Yes, we'll probably need all of this creature removal, as much as that is unfortunate. Where did my Crystal Shard end up? Was that in my... Did I put that down here already? Oh, there it is. Here's Crystal Shard. Yeah, definitely want that. Cast artifacts, create tokens, keep those. Ramp can all stay. And my win conditions. We are tight for space, ladies and gentlemen. This is a little unfortunate. Oh, looks like I got some extra people jumping in. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Feel free to say hi in the chat. If you guys have any thoughts, by the way, I'm talking out loud. If you guys have any thoughts about things that are like worthwhile playing in cEDH, that's kind of what I'm going for. Like, I'm not going for hyper competitive here, but I want this to be like good enough that I can at least take this to a competitive locals and just have fun and do well with it. I do have a locals that does like fairly competitive EDH on Friday nights. So that's the general idea of what I'm trying to get for this deck. Oh, but I'm so pressed for space. Goodness me. Alright, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 counter spells. I don't think going below that's probably a good idea. We probably want to stay at 11. Mono blue is low on interaction, so having counter spells is going to be important. Is Altar of Dementia worth it? I don't necessarily think it is. Like, yeah, we can replay the things we're sacking and mill more cards, but I don't necessarily think that's where we want to be. I think there's other cards here that just do more. Don't get me wrong, it's a very powerful card, but in Emery specifically, I don't know if it's good enough. Maybe I'd just go ahead and drop that. Baubles are probably good to keep. Just as 0-drop artifacts, if nothing else. That's recurring draw power off of Emery. Thought Monitor, same deal. Mystic Forge, I mean, you can't not play Mystic Forge. Artificer's Intuition. Goodness me. All my tutors. Removal. Man, this is tough, guys. This is real tough. we've officially reached that point in the deck building process where I'm very low on space, and there's still so much I want to put in here. All right. This will help. Maybe if I start kind of filing out cards that I don't care as much about, and I'm just going to go ahead and sleeve up cards that I want to be, like I know for sure I want to have included in here. So 1,000-Year Elixir is a definite. It's a haste outlet for Emery that also untaps Emery. Like that's just awesome. Like super powerful tech card for Emery specifically. Narset, a stacked piece that also lets us find cards off the top. We are playing a lot of non-land, non-creature cards, so she's going to find stuff pretty consistently. Definitely want her. Sensei's Divining Top. Again, feels like a no-brainer. Winter Orb and Back to Basics, I think, are both super helpful. Land Denial and an artifact-heavy deck. I don't necessarily know if Winter Orb is going to be super, super strong. I might be okay cutting that one, actually. Riddlesmith, we're going to want... Helps us find our pieces. Crystal Shard. I think Crystal Shard is worth it. It lets us recycle our Emerys for only 1 mana. So basically every turn I can just pay 1 blue, bounce Emery, play a blue, put her back into play, mill more cards, do more good things. Speaking of which, Lightning Greaves, we want to make sure that Emery is safe. And if I can tap her the turn she comes into play, all the better. It's been a little while since I played a deck that I really wanted Lightning Greaves in, but I think this qualifies, for sure. For sure. Oh my goodness, that still leaves so much. I don't actually know, guys. I don't know what else to take out, and I don't know what else to put in. If anyone does stop in and has any thoughts on this, things that are good to run, things that are probably not worth running, please weigh in. I'm struggling here. I'm struggling, guys. Maybe Secrets of the Dead isn't necessarily worth it. Because realistically, I'm only going to be playing 1 card from the graveyard per turn, right? That's just a draw 1 every turn. That's not necessarily the best. It's not an artifact body. We're going to take that out. How much do I care about untapping artifacts? I mean, there's a pretty fair number of them in here. Honestly, playing the Winter Orb would be nice if I had a way to tap artifacts, but... Forge Master is a tutor. Ratchet Bomb, I can ramp out charge counters faster. And of course, I have lots and lots of ramp. Maybe I don't care as much about the untaps. Without having playtested, it's kind of hard to tell. If I don't play those, though, Liquid Metal Torque probably isn't worth it. I'm already playing plenty of other ramp. Plenty of other ramp. I think Codex Shredder is a definite. Because Codex Shredder with the Dramatic Reversal combo is also a win condition. It's card advantage and a win condition tied at 1. I mean, how do you not play that? Codex Shredder, we're going to go ahead and add in. Perpetual Timepiece is more on one side, but is good card advantage. Spellskite isn't bad. I just don't know if it's that good. This is the hard part of deck building, guys. We have reached that point. I'm at 32 lands. Maybe I can cut an island. That would give me another space to put something else in. But what else do I want? I actually think Wandering Archaic is undervalued. I think that card is really strong, but is it worth it? Like, I can ramp into Wandering Archaic really fast in this deck. There's a lot of artifact ramp. He himself is not an artifact, though, and that's a little bit of a downside. Nah, I think it's too situational. I don't think we need to go that route. Confounding Conundrum. It's another good stacks piece. Punishes fetching, which is good. Doesn't cost any card advantage. It draws me a card when it enters. Shimmermer is also a good card. Being able to flash my artifacts in. I don't think that's really necessary, though. I don't mind playing on my turn. Maybe Shimmermer is a good card. I mean, it is a good card. I'm not saying it's not a good card, but maybe it is something that I'm interested in running here. I was going to look at my maybe pile. I have a lot of cards in the maybe pile. Spellseeker is still in here, too. Ugh. Gosh, there's so many good cards. How many blue cards am I running for Sapphire Medallion? That's a lot of non-blue cards. There's like a few that it could be good for. I don't think Sapphire Medallion's where I want to go with this. We're down to what I think is going to wind up being my last 3 slots here. Assuming that I keep the cards over here. I'm still a little iffy on Winter Orb and Lightning Greaves. But I think they're worthwhile. I mean, the reality is I can play Emery for 1 mana, like most of the game. So, in theory, if I can play Emery for 1 and then instantly tap her to get value back, I mean, that's definitely worth doing. I don't know, guys. I really wish people were in chat, not for the views. I wish I had other opinions here. I want some advice. Alright, I think Shimmermer is definitely worthwhile. We're going to go with Shimmermer as one of my final slots. For sure and for certain. Crystal Shard, sure. Riddlesmith, sure. Back to Basics is a definite. Basically 0 opportunity cost to that. Man, this is rough. Decision making is hard, guys. I mean, realistically, I'm probably just going to need to do some playtesting with this deck and see what works and what doesn't. All these cards are probably going to stay in a maybe pile somewhere for a little while. Perpetual Timepiece is basically a draw 2 every turn. I am very strongly leaning towards that. Clock of Omens is a way of tapping Winter Orb, which is kind of cool, but it's also just generically strong. And it's actually quite good with Perpetual Timepiece. Timepiece also have the benefit of, if I have a loaded graveyard and they go to wipe my graveyard, I can pay 2 to get those cards back, where they're not in the graveyard anymore, but at least they're not exiled. So Timepiece is also pretty good. That might be it for now. Might be it. I think we might have found where we want to be. For now, anyway. Blessing Station. Got our combos. I like the Ballista's removal that I can also keep replaying. That's pretty cool. Shimmer Dragon. I think Shimmer Dragon is just too strong not to use. As long as I can cast it reliably. I was going to take some testing to make sure I can actually cast this reliably. But the way I see it, if this comes out, mean, this card is just next level card draw, like absurd amounts of card draw. And hey, it's a way of also tapping Winter Orb, so there's that as well. Mystic Forge, can't not play Mystic Forge. Yeah, want that, want that. Yeah, I think this is it. I think we have arrived at the build that we are going to start with. We'll just have to wish this good luck and hope it works. Although Liquid Metal Torque, I am playing Clock of Omens. I don't know, maybe take out Crystal Shard? It's hard when I'm building sometimes to tell if the interaction is cute or actually worth playing. I feel like recycling Emery every turn is actually pretty good. Like that's basically a draw 4 by doing that every turn. And there's going to be situations where if the opponent taps out, you can catch them off with it. Less likely, but that is something that can happen. Guys, I'm really bad at making cuts. This is difficult. We've arrived at this point now. I don't want to cut any more counter magic. That's kind of necessary. Don't want to cut draw power because it's draw power. Don't want to cut creature interaction because we're going to need it at some point. Almost guaranteed. Another land? Do I go down to 30 lands? If anyone has any suggestions, please leave them in chat. Like I'll if you think the cards that I'm mulling over aren't good, please tell me. Like I'm bad at decision making here. I think these are all worth running though. I think these are definitely keeps. I feel like I want to put Liquid Metal Torque back in there though. Maybe I'm gonna cut Crystal Shard. I'm gonna do it. We're going to cut Crystal Shard and we're going to put Torque back in. This is one additional piece of artifact ramp. I'm going to lay all this out here in just a second so you guys can see what the final build looks like. And you can tell me how stupid I am for keeping some of these cards in here. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and start laying these out. Kind of look over my ratios here. Put those off to the side. All right. Got our commander. Kind of a given. All right. Let me think here. Give me a second to organize. Because these cards do different jobs. We'll start with our ramp, though. Let me find my ramp. All right. So we've got Liquid Metal Torque, Patriarch Seal. Super good. Ethereum Sculptor, making my artifacts cost less. Foundry Inspector for the same reason. Of course, the fast mana. We've got Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, Commander Sphere, potential win condition because it lets me loop. Mox Amber, fast mana. Chrome Mox, fast mana. Arcane Signet, Mind Stone, Soul Ring, Mox Opal, Thran Dynamo. I don't know. Should I cut Thran Dynamo? 3 mana is nothing to snort at, and I am playing some expensive cards in here. I think I keep the Thran Dynamo. I think 3 generic is worth 4 mana. We're gonna hit that pretty consistently. Oh, also technically part of the ramp is going to be Lotus Petal. I am playing Lotus Petal. I was just sitting in here with win conditions. Basalt Monolith also in there for win conditions. I am playing a 4 Horseman win condition package, so that is here currently as well. So we have for the 4 Horseman win condition package, Blasting Station, Ulamog, Narcomoeba, Basalt Monolith, and Mesmeric Orb. It's a lot of pieces, but also 2 of them I don't care about seeing. The only ones you really need to see are the Monolith, the Station, and the Orb. all of which are tutorable, and all of which are artifacts, so they can be played from my graveyard. Ulamog, I'm okay seeing in my hand. It is a form of generic removal, which can help me get around artifact hate. We can also just kind of use Narcomoeba. I don't really care if I see it in my hand. Worst case, I can just play it and sack it to something. But it's the way that the Four Horsemen package wins. We have the Dramatic Reversal combo. We have Mirror and Spy for absurd amounts of card advantage with Emery, as well as Win Condition with Lotus Petal, and Walking Ballista for the same reason. Walking Ballista being removal is just super cool. I love that card in this shell. I think it is just chef's kiss for sure. Alright, so those are all win condition related cards that also have other utility in the deck. I tried to keep the cards that were my win conditions at least somewhat usable with other purposes, so those are there. We have some stacks pieces. We have Narset, Back to Basics, and Winter Orb to help keep our opponents slowed down. I think that's it as far as stacks specifically goes. Counter Magic. We are playing a decent amount of counter magics. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 counter spells. I don't think that's too bad. I think that's right around where I want to be. Not too many, not too few. Spot removal. I do have a decent amount of spot removal. So we've got either Spell Bomb or Recurring removal. I like that. Resculpt. Maybe Vapor Snag isn't necessarily worth playing. Chain of Vapor is because it gets rid of permanence. Pondrify, Reality Shift, Ratchet Bomb, and Devastation Tide. I think I'm okay with all of those. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 pieces of removal, counting the artifacts. That's not too bad. And I think Vapor Snag can be cut, actually. I think we can find something else to put in here for that. I'm playing Sai and Mirrored and Besiege. They give me artifact bodies anytime I play artifacts. So it's kind of doubling up the artifacts as I play them. And card draw. In the realm of card draw, we have Shimmer Dragon. I think probably is the... And I'm predicting this is going to be the best card draw spell in the deck. I think the card is nuts. Our 2 baubles. We are playing Thought Monitor. Mystic Forge. Going right into tutors, we have Artificer's Intuition. We have Trinket Mage. We have Fabricate. Reshape. War of Invention. Mystical Tutor, and Koldatha Forge Master. All worth playing, I think. All pretty good tutors. Gets me my pieces consistently. Vapor Snag, I think we're definitely going to take out for something. I'm going to put that to the side for now. We've got Shimmermer, Codex Shredder, Lightning Greaves, Riddlesmith, Top, 1000-Year Elixir, Perpetual Timepiece, Clock of Omens for utility artifacts. We are playing, I want to say, 29 Islands, an Adventure's Fair, and an Urza Saga as utility, which means I can officially go back and start looking at replacements for Vapor Snag. What do I want more of? What am I light on? I always put Crystal Shard back in. Sculpting Steel or Phyrexian Metamorph. Do I want those? Plenty of ramp to choose from, but I don't think I have enough utility artifacts to really make them worth it. I mean, I can copy like 1000-Year Elixir or something like that, but I don't know if that's really necessary. I think we can officially write those off. Snap isn't terrible. Snapcaster Mage isn't bad. Confounding Conundrum, Manifold Key, maybe Manifold Key. Scroll Rack is still an option. Maybe Confounding Conundrum is another stacks piece to include. Again, it seems situational, though. Sculpting Steel. Tormod's Crypt. Spellskite, maybe? Actually, yeah. Maybe Spellskite comes in. Helps me protect my combos for the turn. It's able to be replayed. Like, if I'm going for a dramatic scepter combo and they're trying to remove the scepter to stop me from going off. Free manaless interaction that redirects, I guess, rather. If anyone's in the chat, good evening, everyone. Starting to wrap things up here. This is going to be a relatively short live stream. This was my first attempt. Wanted to see if anyone would stop by and be interested. Gonna make a quick announcement before I do wrap up, though. I think I'm getting pretty darn close to where I want this deck to be. So between Manifold Key, target creature can be blocked. It doesn't matter. So this Manifold Key would just be for untapping an artifact. Yeah, I think there's enough in here that I think that's worth it. All right. Instead of that, we'll go with Manifold Key. I think. Gosh, I'm second guessing it again. All right, we're gonna go with Spellskite. We're gonna go with Spellskite, and we're going to see how that goes. And I think that's it. I think we have officially built our Emery sort of cEDH deck. That'll do it. For those of you who have stopped in to just kind of watch me tinker here, thank you all for joining me. Deck building is just my favorite part of playing card games, so I figured, why not? I've been kind of slowly compiling the cards for this deck. A lot of them were already in my collection. I picked up some new stuff to build this deck specifically. I just got the hankering to build an Emery cEDH deck. I think she's kind of cool. But yeah, that was pretty much just the idea. I just wanted to build a deck. I like doing this anyway, and I figured I'd do it on stream so you guys could join me. Maybe I'll get some more people joining me in the future. No one really chatted, and that's okay. Like I said, no hard feelings, none whatsoever. I've been very open in all my videos. I do this for fun. So if people are interested, by all means, stop in and have a chat. If not, that's okay. I did want to make an announcement, though. I will be trying to do live streaming on a somewhat regular basis. So I had the idea of doing a Digimon trading card game regular gameplay live stream. Basically, what that would wind up looking like is I'm going to try to get a group of my friends from my locals together, and once a week, TBD which day of the week, we would get together and film some Digimon gameplay. Here's the part where I think you guys might be interested. I got a comment. How's it going, buddy? Yeah, it's been fun talking with you in the chat. I recognize your name. Good seeing you. Good seeing you. Thanks for stopping in. So as far as the Digimon content goes, I think you guys are going to like this idea. Now, again, this is not a promise. I need to figure out a way to actually get the logistics of this to work. But I have friends from back in Maryland, I'm originally from Maryland, who have a stream called The Legacy Pit that they do where they have a big library of Legacy decks, and chat can basically request to see certain matchups. Well, I have quite a few Digimon decks together, and I have friends who have quite a few Digimon decks together. The idea that I'm going to try to get going, is I would like to do a Digimon weekly stream where chat can stop in and request to see specific matchups between specific Digimon decks. I think that's a lot of fun. So we'll have lots of rogue stuff that you guys can suggest. I'll basically, if this does work out, I'm going to compile a deck library for you guys. You can look through it, decide what matchups you guys want to see, and you can make requests, and we'll play those requests out for you live and on camera. If that sounds like something you guys are interested in, please leave comments on the video. Help me get some encouragement from my buddies from locals so we can get that idea rolling. I'm actually going to be out of town this coming weekend. I'm leaving on a flight tomorrow to go visit family up in Maryland, so I'm not going to be posting videos for a couple days, but I get back Sunday night. Hoping to have a video up either Monday night or Tuesday night. And Monday is my usual locals. So when I head out this coming Monday, I'm going to chat with some of my buddies and see if we can get something together. If you guys like the sound of that idea, like I said, leave a comment, like, subscribe. It really helps out. I did not start this channel for the views or anything like that. I am incredibly blessed that as time of the streaming, I think 72 people have considered me entertaining enough to subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. I'm glad you guys are having fun. I'm having a lot of fun, and if you want to keep having fun with me, invite your friends. Like I said, like and subscribe. I've got lots more fun video ideas coming down the pipeline. So with that, I'm going to officially conclude my very first ever live stream. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you all for joining me, those of you who did, and see you guys next time. Have a great night, guys.